Sadaşivasamarambam Shankaracharyamadyamam Asmadacharyapāryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. I welcome you all with my love and respects. Welcome all the devotees, disciples, samajis, satsangis sitting with us around the world at this moment in 590 places through NTV and 9 places in two-way connection, having 9 addiction in 148 cities in 18 countries. Cities having two-way Nayana are Seattle, Ohio, San Jose, Guadalupe, Los Angeles, Phoenix, Malaysia, Toronto and Singapore. I welcome all of you with my love and respects. Let's enter into today's subject. Conquer space and time. Today's subject, conquer space and time. In Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, 161st Sutra, in 3rd chapter, 55th verse, conquer space and time. Tarakam sarva vishayam sarvata vishayam akramanchayi vivekajajnanam. Tarakam sarva vishayam sarvata vishayam akramanchayi vivekajajnanam. Swami Vivekananda translates this sutra as the saving knowledge is the knowledge of discrimination which simultaneously covers all objects in all their variations. Swami Prabhupada translates as this discriminative knowledge delivers a man from the bondage of ignorance. It comprehends all objects simultaneously at every moment of their existence and in all their modifications. Swami Satchidananda translates as the discriminative knowledge that simultaneously comprehends all objects in all conditions is the intuitive knowledge which brings liberation. Bhagavan Osho translates as the highest knowledge born of the awareness of reality is transcendent, includes the cognition of all objects, simultaneously pertains to all objects, and processes whatsoever in the past, the present and the future, and transcends the world processes. Let me reveal the sacred secrets I experienced from Patanjali Yoga Sutras. Tarakam sarva vishayam sarvara vishayam akramanche vivekajajnanam. Tarakam, that is the keyword, means crossing, going beyond, just by the self-inspiration, going beyond. The tradition of mother worship, Devi is named as Tara, shows the way, shows the path, shows the enlightenment. Patanjali extols, expresses greatness of the earlier samyama, the samyama he gave to go beyond time, He extols, sings the glory of the Samyama in the Sutra also. A man like a Patanjali who uses minimal words to express any great truth. He is using 2 sutras just to sing the glory of the last Samyama. Then understand the greatness of the Samyama going beyond time. Just realizing the time is the greatest lie. If a child is taught this truth, time is a lie. You wake up along with sun, you fall asleep along with sun, and body rises, goes through the seasons, years, and disappears. There is no such thing as time. I guarantee. Not only you will create human beings who will live 300 years, you will create human beings who will live. Human civilization need to understand we don't need stress-based life for infrastructure. We just need training-based life for infrastructure. Rambam Shankaracharya Madhyama Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Parampara. I welcome you all with my love and respects. Welcome all the devotees, disciples, samajis, satsangis sitting with us around the world at this moment in 590 places through NTV and 9 places in two-way connection, having Nayadiksha in 148 cities in 18 countries. Cities are in two-way Nayadiksha: Seattle, Ohio, San Jose, Guadalupe, Los Angeles, Phoenix, Malaysia, Toronto, and Singapore. I welcome all of you with my love and respects. Let's enter into today's subject. Conquer space and time. Today's subject, conquer space and time. In Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, 161st Sutra, in 3rd chapter, 55th verse, conquer space and time. Tarakam sarva vishayam sarvata vishayam akramanchai vivekajajnanam. Tarakam sarva vishayam sarvata vishayam akramanchai vivekajajnanam. Swami Vivekananda translates this sutra as: the saving knowledge is the knowledge of discrimination which simultaneously covers all objects in all their variations. Swami Prabhupada translates as: this discriminative knowledge delivers a man from the bondage of ignorance. It comprehends.
But you get into a kind of a space, anything you see other than you, destroy. Rakshasic. Rakshasic. They do not even think whether this person whom I am trying to kill or destroy, did he hurt me? No. See, if you are trying to hurt somebody who has hurt you, it is justifiable rajas. But the rulers, lawmakers, does not even work based on this much of clarity. It is like a bulldoze, bully, destroy anybody. If you see somebody happy, don't allow. Sadism has become the basic biomemory of many lawmakers, because by the time that they reach that height, they go through so much that becomes lifestyle. Understand, the concept of time as taught to you by the human civilization is not for training you or rehabilitating you. It is just to imprison you. It's based on high quality of sadism. Or I can say, rather I will use the word, low quality of sadism. We need to evolve a kind of a training system which we can do only by working with kids, by teaching them time is a myth. All our gurukuls should avoid using watches and clocks. Kids' biomemory should be trained just by bell. No watch, no clock. They should not use any watch, any clock. If you give one bell, get up and take bath. The other bell, go for the food. The other bell, sit in the class. When you train the kids in this way, you will train them for infrastructure, but without creating stress in them. See, I am not saying don't create infrastructure. All I am saying is, you don't need to take out your bones to create a pillar for a building. You can do it in much better way. Create steel for pillars. You don't need to use your own bones. If you use your own bone, you will be alive only to create one pillar. You don't need to be a candle to give light. Be a ghee lamp. You don't need to hang in cross to redeem the society. Be in golden throne and redeem the world. You don't need to be sacrificing to redeem the world. Be the center of the intelligence to save the planet Earth, to save the world. Time is the ultimate lie taught to human civilization. We should get back to bell-based routine in our schools, so that nowhere the watch, clock, alarm, timepiece, anything is displayed or allowed to be used. Kids should forget about time. All they should know is, sun has arisen, I am in the human body, let me get up. Sun has set, I am in the human body, let me lie down. That's all. Body should flow with the tamas, which is stored in biomemory, rajas, which is stored in biomemory, sattva, which is stored in biomemory. Life is for living. Reality is for living. It is not for destroying. Liberating yourself from one of the greatest myth called time is the ultimate liberation. Patanjali says, Sarvata, Sarvam, Sarvata, from all and beyond. Let me translate this word, Sarvam and Sarvata. Sarva Vishayam, all and everything, Sarvata, in all ways. Let me exactly reveal the sacred secret. Being an external to all the happenings of your internal is what I mean by being liberated from time. Please understand. Being external to all the happenings of your internal. Being external to all the happenings of your internal means whatever you consider as the internal happening. The concept of time, stress created by time, strengths of your body and mind, weaknesses of your body and mind, the ideas you carry about your consciousness, including the experience you have about consciousness. All internal, when it is experienced as external, you are beyond time. Meditate on this one sacred secret. Live it. Live this sutra. Live this one sacred secret. Whatever you think as internal should become external to you. Living in such an observation, all internal is external for you. The more and more internal things become external for you, the more you are grown spiritually. Understand? Inside, if there are 100 things, for somebody 20 things may become external. Means initially your body will become external for you. Yes, this is not me. Then your prana, air circulation will become external for you. This is not me. Then mental thoughts will become external for you. This is not me. But initially all these will be internal for you. Then emotions. Oh, this is not me. Few days before, one of our Gurukul child, he fell and broke his hand. He was immediately brought to me. I asked him, do you have pain? The child has been taught such a clear truths from the young age. He says, he is not even saying I am, he is telling his name and saying, he is looking into the place and seeing, is there any pain? He is concentrating. Actually, his parents were shaken. It is not a joke to talk all these great truths at those moments. He is feeling shy. Now I tell you, when I saw that, I was feeling bad that he broke his hand, that is secondary. But I was so happy. When I went to Annamalai Swamigal, after having the medical aid, you see, first time when I went, he said, you are not the body, and then I went and cut myself and tried. Of course, I had the pain and I was taken to the hospital and they did all that stitching and everything. But one good thing, I went through the whole thing with awareness. When I went back, he told me, it's okay, one cut is worthy of the clarity you are having, the inspiration you have to experiment with the truths. That is 1,000 times more valuable and costly than one small cut you created for yourself. When I understood that, how I felt happy, I felt the same way. One fracture is nothing, it is worthy. For the clarity you have. Now I know for sure now that child will evolve as enlightened being. Because this idea being inserted into your biomemory and comes out during, actually his hand was hanging separately. Please understand, it's a complete fracture. Not an airline crack. It's a complete fracture. He was not able to handle. His parents were holding the child. He was not able to move his hand as he wants. One mistake we did, small mistake, taking him to the regular hospital where doctors have put the fear of pain. Anyhow, that we can remove it now, that's different. We should have our own hospital where the doctors also feel these truths. They should give medical care. It's not that we should not give medical care, but we should tell, pain is nothing, it's nothing, it's just a story. Do you really have pain? Now actually when I asked him, he says he doesn't have pain, he is afraid pain may come because doctors are saying. See, the internal happening has become external to the child already. Pain is the fourth layer internal happening. Please understand. Which is happening in the subtle body. Today in the NSP we will all be working on pain only. Pains only. What you guys may have after this process, the child is having at the age spontaneously. See, even after today's process, only when you go through sincerely, you will have this kind of an understanding, and then you need to practice for this to become your biomemory. But the child, fortunately, I tell you, in Tiruvannamalai, thousands of kids are born, and all of them are provided an ambience, but only one or two becomes Nithyananda, who catches it. Because all the ambience is provided as an accident, not as a planned incident. Here, I am trying to provide all that opportunity as a planned incident. I tell you, I will create at least few thousands of Nithyanandas out of our Gurukul. Out of our Gurukul, I'll create at least few thousands. I saw how the child went through the whole thing. What's his age, ma? 6. Just 6. Even when I went through, I was not 6, I was, I think, 10. When I have cut myself, surely I was not 6, at least I think 10. 10 or 11 maybe. It's just before, maybe 6 months or 1 year before the enlightenment experience. At the age of 12 I had, before the enlightenment experience. At the age of 6, the child is very clear about externalizing all the internal things. Parents are shaken because for them, even the child is internal. But for the child, even his own suffering is external. I was feeling bad that he broke his hand, that is different. But inside I was so joyful, wow, our system is working. We will create enlightened beings. We will create enlightened intelligence. Few of the teachers, even some of our own ashramites, were having little doubts about the system I am evolving or I am teaching in our Gurukul. At that moment I decided, now I know my system is working. It is not a joke when your hand is hanging. See, it's a full fracture. It's hanging and that boy is not crying. Later on, because of the too much of fuss we created in the hospital, he might have felt little, he should act little normally. But the first reaction itself, you see, usually for normal people, the first reaction will be, oh, all that suffering, and then they will manage and, oh. But here for the child, the first reaction itself, seeing most innermost internal as external. See, pain is the innermost internal thing you can experience. Beyond that, the innermost internal is enlightenment, consciousness. If you can experience pain, which is the innermost internal as external, I can say you crossed already 70%. 70% your journey is done. Now only thing we need to do is take care the child doesn't lose that clarity, that's all. I was so happy. I couldn't express my joy because the parents were shaken. So I let act, no, all right, get the ambulance and take him. Of course, medical care has to be given, that's different. But it's a moment of joy when you see somebody can be, see, what is there in that fracture? 10 days he became all right, now he has become all right. But that ability to look at that serious moments, which cannot be repeated. Now you cannot break everybody's hand and see. When the opportunities happen, if the child's kids are expressing, means the biomemory is properly programmed. I can tell you, this is one of the biggest testimony for my Gurukul system. The first testimony for my Gurukul system. The other day in the inner awakening, all the engineers kids performed. Some 40 words they remembered systematically out of the quantum memory programs. Even those things is not, I did not feel that as my pride. Those things are all mental powers. But this was really something too sweet. Actually, the parents wouldn't have been shaken. I would have just spent a little time with him and took care that he doesn't even receive the doctor's ideas. But of course, we need to rush him to the hospital and I couldn't spend much time with him. But anyhow, this is not a joke. For a 6-year-old child, not even to use his name or identity at the time. Of course, use the name, but not the identity. Means he is not even saying even those moments I. Means what kind of an awareness? The ability to externalize most internal happenings. I tell you, the essence of spirituality, essence of all the sutras is ability to externalize the innermost internal happenings. That is what I mean by going beyond time. Especially ability to spontaneously externalize the innermost happening of internal. Means what? Your bio-memory is already filled with these great truths. In Tamil there is a verse by Thiruvalluvar, an enlightened saint. I'll give you the translation. The responsibility of a son towards the parents is, whole world should say what penance the parents should have done to have this kind of a son. Ivan tandai ennotran kol enum sol. If you have a child and if you want, the world should tell, seeing your son, what penance his parents should have done for having this great son. The only penance you need to do is bring them to our Gurukul, that's all. This will be the greatest gift you will be giving to your child. The right mental setup from the right age. Because there are so many things which I am saying, the moment I tell elders, okay. Sheniyanunga. Moodeving. இதுக்கு மூஞ்ச பார்த்தாலே அடுத்த சென்டென்ஸ் பேசுறதுக்கு மூடே வர மாட்டேங்குது. The moment you look at this fellow's face, the way they listen to the great truths, you will not even have the mood to tell the second statement. Here I am talking about going beyond time and enlightenment. There, sometimes you feel like having sprinkler all over the Rajya Sabha and have the button here. Switch on and off once in few minutes. I think in Chit Sabha I am planning. All sabhas should be equipped with the sprinklers. Because here I am talking about some external great, extraordinary truth. Externalizing the most subtle internal experience spontaneously That is why I decided, better let me start teaching to kids. See, teaching to these elders is like altering the building as per Vastu after building. You build as you want and then demolish, reconstruct as per Vastu. That fellow will make you spend 10 times more than the original building. But teaching to the kids is like a planning as per Vastu and building. New construction. That is why I say, this great truth, learning to externalize most subtle internal happenings of your life spontaneously should be the underline or the thread, current of all our Gurukul training. Understand? Making all the subtlest internal happenings as external. Externalizing all the most subtlest internal happenings. When you internalize, the external things, more and more bondage happens. When you externalize internal things, more and more liberation happens. That's all. When you externalize, first the body becomes external. Then prana becomes external. Then the thoughts becomes external. Then emotions becomes external. Then the pains caused by that emotions becomes external. Then the very experience of consciousness becomes external. Only finally, ultimately, the pure consciousness alone remains as internal. Ramana Maharshi says very clearly, throw everything, whatever you can, throw it out. Finally, something will be there which you can't throw it out, hold on to that, that's all. Externalize everything which you can. Finally, there will be something which you will not be able to externalize, let that be your internal, that's all. Externalizing everything, even the most subtlest internal happening, is spiritual life. Catch this truth, live it. Drill yourself with this one truth. Live yourself with this one truth. I vouch for Patanjali. Patanjali's words are ultimate truths. He is not only he is not lying, he is not even adulterating the truth. He is unadulterated, pure truth as it is. understand is one truth. Few minutes, try to externalize as much as possible the subtlest, most subtlest internal happenings of you. Try now. I'll initiate you into the samyama of going beyond time, externalizing the most subtlest internal happenings of you. I bless you all. Let all the internal become external to all of you. I bless you all who are sitting with us at this moment in 818 places through NTV, two-way connection, 9 places in 173 cities in 23 countries. Let you all achieve, experience, live, express, radiate, and share the eternal bliss. Nithyananda. Thank you.